You all
Yes,
get
ma'am.
them? Okay. So today we are going to discuss on computer graphics lab portions, and I believe we have already completed 6 assignments in the college itself. So, and I've already told you all to upload the programs in the Moodle. I hope everybody has done it. Today is the last day to submit the assignments, and those who are remaining, please submit it after this session. So, the motive of this particular session is to explain the portions which is hard for you. The remaining portions is similar to the transformations we have studied, and similar to assignment 3. So which the portions which are not similar, I'm going to cover it today. You all are free to ask also based on other doubts based on other assignments if you have any at the end of this session. Okay. I'll be sharing the screen. Just see if you all can see it. You all can see it. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we are going to start the session. So today, fine. So these are the set of assignments we have already covered in the class. Okay, so we have covered how to draw a line, and the second assignment was how to draw a circle. The third assignment was based on transformation, different types of transformations you have done, and the fourth assignment was based on a particular pattern wherein you have two circles, inscribed and circumscribed circles, and the third was a rectangle box pattern which you have to draw using line. The sixth one was how to draw different line styles like solid line, dashed line, dotted line, and till 6 assignments we have covered it in the class itself. Okay, so today I'm going to focus on 7, 8, 9, and 10 assignments, where 9 and 10 are similar to the transformations you have studied, and 11 is exactly similar to assignment 3. You have an option, either you can do this particular question or do the question called draw patterns using coach curve, which I explained in the last session. Okay, and the 12th assignment is similar to your mini project. So we won't focus on 11 and 12 today. We'll be focusing on 7, 8, 9, and 10. Y'all got me?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. So we'll start with the seventh assignment, which is write a C++ or a Java program to implement Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm for a given window. So you all know that we have two clipping algorithms we have learned: Sutherland-Hodgman for polygon clipping and line clipping Cohen-Sutherland. You can also use Cohen-Sutherland line clipping for clipping a polygon. In that case, you have to use it interactively. That means you have to take each part of the polygon line by line. So here we are going to do a simple line clipping algorithm using C++. So we'll just go through the theory part first. I hope you all remember. So Cohen-Sutherland algorithm is a line clipping algorithm, and here what you do is you divide a region into 9 regions. A particular one single region is partitioned into 9 sub regions, and each region is given a 4-bit code. I hope you all remember that, based on LRBT: left, right, top, bottom. You all remember that?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
A 4-bit code. The middle portion will be having, the middle region will have the code 0000. The left region, the first bit will be set. Right bit region, the second bit will be set. The the bottom, you will have the third bit, and on the top you have the fourth bit set. So it was like that. And now here we are going to represent a line which has to be clipped. So the endpoints of the line is given as x1 y1 and x2 y2. Then, as you know, every graphics program will have an init graph which is used to initialize the graphics system by loading the graphics driver from the disk and putting the system into the graphics mode. So for that you have G driver, G mode, and the path to the driver. So if you all remember, for an Ubuntu system, the path to the driver will be null, and for a Windows system, it will be the path to your BGI folder, which is normally in the C drive. Clear? Okay. Now coming to the algorithm part, program source code part, here we will be using three functions. One function is called a window function, which is used to draw the clip window or the rectangular box, which is going to which through which you're going to recognize which part has to be clipped or not. So here we are taking whatever is lying outside the clip window has to be clipped, and whatever is lying inside the clip window has to be retained. So the region code for the window is going to be 0000. Okay, and the region code for the outside depends on its position. Clipping, there's another function called clipping, which is going to clip the line outside, lying outside the clip window, and you have a code function to assign the 4-bit code to the given line. Okay, so this is how it works. I hope you all can hear me. Just tell me when you don't hear me. Huh? Fine. So this is the source code for the first function which I told, void window. So window is a function which is used to create a clip window, and I've given you an example. Here line inbuilt line functions are used, which comes under graphics.h. So the first value here is x1, this is x2, y1, this is x2, and this is y2. So depending on that, I've drawn a rectangular box, and this is going to be your clip window, and I've given the values also. I hope you'll have understood that. So this is 200 200, so x becomes 200 200 here, and 350 200, it becomes this part. So you draw this line first, then you have 350 200, which is what, from here to here. So this is the next line you draw. Then you have 200 200 200 250, which 350, which is in the left line which you draw, and the last one 200 350 350 350 is the top line of the rectangular box. So this window function particularly is used to draw the clip window. I hope you'll have understood that. Yes. Now going to the next
Yes, ma'am.
function. Next function is code function, in which you are going to use a code array. We are going to initialize a code array. Then you are going to pass the endpoint x and the pass the endpoint y. So here the endpoint, suppose I'm going to take the endpoint x1 y1 right now. So this is the line which I'm going to clip. Okay, x1 y1 x2 y2, which I've drawn against the clip window. So I have to pass the endpoints of the line iteratively into this code. So let's take the first endpoint, which is x1 y1. So that will become go into the function, and then it will check whether the x value is less than 200. So as you know, whatever comes in the left side will be less than 200. Whatever comes in the right side will be greater than 350. Whatever comes above the rectangle will be greater than 350, and whatever comes below the rectangle, the y value will be less than 200. So based on that, checking is going to be done. So if the x value is less than 200, the zeroth bit will be set. If the x value is greater than 350, the first bit will be set. If the y value is less than 200, the second bit will be set. And if the y value is greater than 350, the first bit will be set. So taking in the example I've written down, if x, now here I'm taking the point x1 y1, x1 is less than 200, so the zeroth bit is set. Whereas x1 is not greater than 350, so it becomes 0. Y1 is not less than 200, so it becomes 0. Y1 is not greater than 350, 0. So the 4-bit code for x1, y1 is going to be 0001. Whereas now if you take x2, y2, since everything lies within the rectangular boundary, all the bit is going to be 0000. Even if you traverse, you will understand that you're not going to get any of the bits set. So this is how every endpoint of the line which you have to clip has to pass through this particular code, and that endpoint will be assigned a 4-bit code. I hope you all have understood. Is that clear? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then going to the main part of our code, which is the clipping part. So clipping part, you see on the top, it is accepting 2-character array. So one character array is the 4-bit code of x1, y1. The other character array is going to be the 4-bit code of x2, y2. Then you have the x and y value, which is going to be a new x and y, the intersection point. And you have m, which is going to be the slope. Is that clear? So now coming here, the flag is already set to 1, and you have I is equal to 0, I is less than 4, because we have 4 sides of the rectangle. So it's going to iterate 4 times. And then in the first line, you see if ci is not equal to 0 and di is not equal to 0, that means if the point is not inside the rectangle. If it is inside the rectangle, ci and di will be equal to 0. If the point is not inside the rectangle, it will not be equal to 0. So, as you see, if ci and di is 0, the flag is equal to 0. And if it is not equal to 0, so if you take the previous example over here, the previous slide example, C1 was equal to 1. So that means here Ci is not equal to 0. So it comes to the next condition. That means the flag becomes 1 itself. Flag is not set to 0. So flag, if so, since C1 C0 is not equal to 0, you will take x equal to 200. Why? Because now when I take x1 y1 as a condition, if I want the point to go inside the clip window, the left boundary will be assigned as the intersection point, where x1 will get a new value which is equal to 200, because the x minimum is 200. Then using that, you are going to calculate y. And y, how are you going to calculate? M is the slope of the line. Using the value, you get the new y. So here you get the new intersection point. So this particular process is going to be repeated until all the intersection points have been calculated for all the given lines. So since I have only one line, x1 y1 is taken, only one bit is high, so only I have one intersection point. The next point is x2 y2, which has no you need not calculate the intersection point because it is completely inside. In that case, the flag will be 0, and in that case, no intersection points has to be calculated. Now when will be the line lying outside the lying outside the rectangle? When you don't have the c bit and d bit position equal to, both not equal to 0. That means both the bit is high. So if both the bit is high, means the line is completely outside the clip window. So in that case, we set the flag equal to 0. So this is how clipping is done. So clipping is done against the clipping function, wherein each bit code assigned, each bit position is checked whether it is equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, you calculate the intersection points respectively, and the iteration continues until you have clipped against all the endpoints of the line given. I hope you all have understood. So this is the example. You can see C value is 0001, D value is 0000. The next, in the ith iteration, I equal to 0, C0 is equal to 1 and D0 is equal to 0. Since C0 is equal to 1, the flag is set to 1 itself. So in that case, you calculate the new slope. By new slope, into 200 minus x plus y, and x new is going to be 200. So in that case, the new line which is going to be drawn is the blue line you see. The outside line is going to be clipped off, and the new point you get is x new and y new. I hope you have understood this. Yes.
Yes,
This is the output you get. So you enter four coordinates. You see the four coordinates. What is this? X1, Y1, X2, Y2. You have the clip window drawn, and this is the line which you get after you enter the coordinates. And after clipping, you see the line which is outside the clip window has been rejected. Clear? So this is how your program has to be executed for line clipping. I hope you have understood this code.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
yes,
Any
yes, ma'am.
doubts? Any
But
doubts?
uh,
Any doubts, anybody? Okay. Then going to the next. So I've not written the main code. Main code is, of course, you're going to call the three functions and you're going to use a put pixel value so that you all know. I've just explained the main functions. I'll be sharing you the code along with this PPT. You can go through the code later on. Fine. Okay. So next program which you are going to discuss is how to draw an object using curve generation. So this particular topic I've not taken it right now till yet, but still I'll explain. So there are curve generation. Right now we were learning how to draw lines, circles, and so on. So now you have curve generation algorithms. So in this particular curve generation algorithm, you see we are going to use a Bezier curve. So how to use a Bezier curve? So Bezier curve is a mathematically derived curve. So you have formulas for that. And the curve, now how to draw a Bezier curve is, always remember you have to give an initial position and a terminating position. That means the first point and the last point. So let me call it as P0 and P3 respectively, and they are called anchors. Then the first point and the last point might have middle points. It's not necessary to have. It depends on the polynomial function you are using. So if you have greater, like you have a cubic polynomial or you have a n value greater than 3 or so, you're going to have middle points also. So the middle points are going to be called handles. Clear? Always remember, Bezier curve will only pass through the first point and the last point. It will not pass through the middle points. So what is the purpose of the middle point? Middle point is used to hold the curve or alter the curve's alignment. So it's actually controls the curve. The middle point controls the curve, whereas the curve passes through the first and the last point only. Okay. So what is the function of the Bezier curve? It's given here: pu sigma I equal to 0 to n pi bi to n of u, where u ranges from 0 to 1, p is the number of points, and sigma I to n means I is the index, n is the polynomial representation you're going to use. If it is a cubic polynomial, you're going to use n value is going to be 3. Fine. And bi to n is called the blending function, which is given here, the expansion of a blending function. So this is the formula. You have to directly apply the formula when you are creating the code. So the only important things you have to remember: a Bezier curve follows a mathematical equation. It always passes through the first and the last point, and if so, it has middle points. Middle points are used to control the alignment of the curve. Is that clear? Yes. Fine. So now you see, example I've given. See the control points P0 to Pn. N is the order of your equation. If n is equal to 1, it's a linear order. 2, it's a quadratic order. If it is 3, it's a cubic order. It goes on. So this n value depends on what type of equation you're going to use. Then as I told you, intermediate control points do not lie on the curve. It will be lying outside the curve. You're going to use this equation, and we have implemented the code for a cubic Bezier curve. So the n value is going to be 3, I value is going to vary from 0 to 3, and u will always lie between 0 and 1. So please remember that. Clear? So this is the code. You can see it's the smallest code of all in your CG program. So as you see, the first part is detecting the graphics driver and assigning the graphics mode value. Now here init graph is initializing the graphics. Then you're going to be asked for the 4 control points because we are implementing a cubic curve. You have the first and the last point and 2 middle points, and for since that 4 points are used, you're going to iterate it 4 times and accept the xi value for each point. Then I said u value ranges from 0 to 1. So we have to give the in first point as 0 and the last point as 1. So the increment will be discrete increments. So here we are using discrete increments as 0.0001 because you cannot use more than that value. Then you have the px and py. uh, this is the polynomial function which I've already told you all. This is the polynomial function which is being expanded using the blending function. I need px and py because p represents a point, so a point composed of x and y. Once you calculate the px and py, you will plot the px and py, and that's how you get the curve. So this is how it works. I'll show you. So this is a self-explanatory one. So the first one, this is the polynomial equation expanded. So then you will assign the cubic blending function in place of b0, b1, b2, and b3. So you get p as this equation. Now since a point composed of x and y, you have to find px and py.